a scion of many worlds. Flipping a coin when your hands are effectively three segmented obsidian spears strategically placed around a furry padded palm is an interesting endeavor. Catching it again is even trickier. You need to get it in the palm or it bounces right off the spears and you have to close the spears around it fast. Otherwise, it'll still bounce off the soft pad covered in white fur. He's not the only one waiting nervously. Many other girls, including Lady Dusk and Lady Allure, are all watching as Lena's eyes shift all over and twitches in her sleep. Aqua lets out a little moan of distress as her best friend's breathing grows agitated and then her eyes snap open. Jasper tosses her a small item, then flares out his wings with a bellow. The unloaded revolver is leveled at his chest and there's a series of clicks as she tries to shoot him by reflex. She pauses as she asserts herself over instinct and tosses the gun at his head in frustration. "You jerk! I just woke up," she scolds him. "I needed to see reflex. You knew exactly what to do. Center mass, multiple shots. Well done. How much have you retained?" Are stars really giant balls of burning gas pressed in so hard that they become solid despite being air? Yay? And shooting stars are just rocks from space that burn as they fall? Yes. And a mix of sulfur, bog moss, and charcoal creates a powder that explodes and can be used to make cannons and pistols. Primitive gunpowder. Yes, Jasper answers. How do you feel? Is there pain? Is there an absence in your mind? I feel tired despite having woken up. That wasn't restful. It was vivid but blurry. It was not a dream, but what else could it be? Memory. My memories of training. I know that, but it felt so dreamlike, but I remember pushing myself and exerting. I remember wondering if my bones would break and my muscles snap under the pressure. How to make tools and the tools of tools to get started. How to evade capture, how to kill and fight and adapt. How to never give up and always look for an answer. No wonder you call yourselves the Undaunted. All right, I'll take a bit and run you through the ropes. See how much you got, but it looks like we had a perfect transfer of knowledge. If we can do this to every girl in the army, Lady Dusk begins. They go from confused, scared, and lost to ready, willing, and able, Lena asks, and Jasper nods. But first, we have to see what it did. Follow me outside and we'll try out your CQC skills and adaptivity, Jasper says, and Lena frowns before nodding. Also, take the headband off. It might be interfering with things. 5 minutes later, and both of them are facing each other without armor in the middle of a field. All right, remember this is a spar. We're growing in skill, not trying to kill each other, Jasper remarks as he takes a stance with his brutal claws folded in on themselves. They're still deadly hammers, but that's less dangerous than the brutal blades they normally are. She takes a wide stance and sizes him up. Then she transfers into a charge and he steps back to avoid it. She jolts to the side and tackles him around the waist to try and unbalance him. He's way too thick and strong to be knocked down in that way, but he is off balance as she shifts it into a wrestling move and channels Axiom to pick him up and toss him. He lands easily and grins. Nice toss. He compliments before gripping the ground and then charging forwards to punch down at her, and she melts to the side to try and dodge it before scooting back as he stepped into her immediate presence to bowl her over. He slams down, and in response she slips between his legs, then rises up to try and lever him up and over like tipping over a wagon. He closes his legs and catches her before she can actually hurt him, then dives to the side while throwing her. She rolls with the landing and starts to pace to the side. He matches it step for step and waits a moment before blurring forward with a snap kick that she dodges to the side of and kicks at his other leg's knee to try and drop him. Unfortunately for her, he backhands her to the ground as she falls and they both collapse, but he's back up in a moment. Very nice, Jasper compliment as she kips up with a kick. Now show me some axiom strength. He immediately dodges a ball of compressed water that makes a meaty smack when it hits a nearby tree. He claps his hands and replies with wave of air to knock her down. "Think fast," Magrika says, charging in from above in a dive, and Lena dodges to the side before waving away from numerous swipes from her wings. Then she darts in between the blades and knees the smaller woman in the face. The monster hunter reels back but sweeps out her legs and drops Lena to the ground and places a bladed wing over her. Good instinct. All right, we seem to have this working. Do we have any other volunteers? Jasper asks, and there's some glancing between the people, and Jane, Erica, Millie, Aqua, and Ariel all raise their hands. All right then, let's get started. There's a bit of delay as he hooks up another series of Kutha coins to his headband and then goes through the process of pressing his memories of training into them. It takes him only a few minutes to create another 10. The other 5 all undergo the training this time. It takes an hour. Just 1 hour. An hour of them twitching, gasping, breathing heavily, and muttering as if in the grip of a truly horrific nightmare. When they wake up and remove the bands, there's an air of exhaustion around each of them. Then they salute. He returns the salute. "You all look like you just came out of a forced march." "It feels like we came out of a forced march," Millie remarks with a bit of a groan. "We just crammed about 2 years of learning into a single hour. I'd be shocked if you weren't exhausted," he says. "I gotta say, it's disturbing to watch." All 5 of them slowly drag themselves upwards, and there is a series of joints popping as all 5 of them stretch out to try and get some feeling back into their limbs. "I feel weak. I need to push myself," Aqua notes. "That'll come later. There are some tricks with Axiom to help build yourself up. Follow me. I'll show you all the ropes." He offers, and all 6 of them, Lena included, follow him out. "Remember, the Axiom is all around you. It keeps you alive and feeds you. So bring it in and eat. Send it to your struggling muscles and feel them grow stronger. Reinforce your skin and hair and bone and feel yourself become more. You understand what you can do without it." "Imagine what can be done with it," Jasper announces as he leads his little squad in a race around the valley. "They're running way better. It's kind of weird," Magrika notes as she flies just above them. "Although it'll never be not weird to see an Orthani racing around on the ground, most don't even like standing up. They just flutter around or grab onto a tree." "We all have our failings. Mine is that I'm very, very weird by Orthani standards." "Well, your blood mom is a spider thing, right? Of course you're weird," Magrika notes before thinking. "Does this mean my daughter might have 8 legs or 8 wings? Oh, that'd be neat." "I don't think it works like that. As far as I understand, the child has the same race as the parent they resemble. So if you're cooking up a son in there, then we've got an Orthani on the way. If it's a daughter, then there's a Metak. But there are some traits that pass over. Not enough to make them another race, but enough to be noticeable. So maybe my daughters will have antenna." "Oh, well, that's a boring answer. I was kind of hoping for some gigantic horror to come screaming out of me and then pick up a weapon and go on to rip a queendom apart and take it for their own. I thought I was supposed to be the weird one." "What the hell?" Jasper asked incredulously, as the girls behind him try to regulate their breathing alongside the laughter. "And it sounds like you girls are learning to eat off the Axiom. What do you think? Are you willing to help teach this to others? We'll need a lot more of those coins to do things fast. But if we can do it, then we can have everyone ready to fight in a hurry," Magrika notes. "That depends. Do any of you feel anything weird? I don't want to accidentally give someone some unreasonable fear of people in hard-brimmed hats or uniforms." "What are you even talking about?" Magrika asks, as the girls sort of snicker as they keep pace with him. "Drill sergeants, bane of trainees. They put the fear of God and the boot in you," Jasper says in a faux horrified tone. "Can we be the drill sergeants?" Aqua asks, and Jasper rolls it through his head. "Sure. Just let me make sure that you girls know your way around the basic exercises. We can cram the training into people, but we need to make sure they have the physical ability to actually do things. All the skill in the world means nothing if you can't use it. That said, he leads them twice around Aridus Valley and then gets them doing quick drills with their spears, swords, and shields. A quick look over their gear and he spreads out a map to look over the area. They easily identify important landmarks and explain what they all are before making and breaking a miniature camp in a hurry. It's worked beautifully. So he spends the next while making another 50 coins. They then start to lay out a large number of bedrolls for the women to lie on before bringing everyone together to explain his plan. The idea of things being placed directly into their minds is frightening, until he manages to properly explain that it's him giving them memories of his own training that turned his brother from some drink-obsessed fool into a proper warrior. After that, there's a great deal more acceptance to the idea, and soon enough all 60 places are taken and there are twitching, moaning women with their friends watching in worry. Yet no one touches them and lets the dream training pass. There's a bit of trepidation as the exhausted women wake up from their naps and then, "Company! AH-10 shun!" Jasper bellows out and 60 women come to attention. "Stand at ease!" They move in perfect unison. "Attention!" They're back at attention. It's worked perfectly. He has a real start to a proper army. "Stand easy!" So it worked? This is amazing. Ivy notes walking up beside Jasper, who offers her a grin. Then she giggles a little. Of course this will put poor Micah out of job. Years of training done in just an hour. So much for the need for teachers. "Not so much," Jasper remarks to the squirrel woman, even as her fellow council member, the partially glowing cat-rabbit woman, Micah walks up with a concerned look. "This is just a series of memories. Like all memories, if not put into application, then nothing is learned. The only reason I'm getting immediate results is because of my immediate engagement. Without that, then it's just an odd but vivid dream. Still, I'm not sure this is the best course of action. It's an emergency measure. They need to learn how to fight sometime roughly a month ago. If they don't, then things will get bad. I can break armies, but if another champion keeps me too busy, then I'm not any good. We need these girls to be able to hold the line." "I understand, but surely it declines the quality of what's learned." "I'm not sure. My entire being, personality, and memories were given to me in much the same way. Am I less of a person for such a thing, or lessened somehow?" he asks, and she seems to fidget and seems uncertain. "You can answer any way you want. I promise not to grow upset. I don't have an answer, though. I don't know who or what you were copied from, so I can't offer any comparisons." "Fair enough. As for this, I think it will be an emergency measure thing at most. If they get the physical conditioning as they train, then there's little cause for issue. As it is here and now, though, they may try something they have the training for, but not the capacity for, and get themselves killed. No, this is an emergency measure." "All right, that's a bit of a relief, although I'd love to study and learn from these unusual events." "Certainly. Hell, if you want, I can put you on call with the men that designed these things. All I've done is copy the blueprints they provided and make use of the items in question." "That sounds lovely," Micah replies before frowning. "Although there seems to be a lot more than just how to be an effective soldier in what you're teaching." The memories include several tests where they made sure that we were at least of respectable intelligence. The answers to those tests, which start insultingly easy and become brutally difficult, are in there, as well as the later learned answers that let me pass them at a fairly high level. "Horace. The answers that let Horace pass them at a fairly high level," she reminds him. "Right. Yes. I need to take those tests myself." She pats him on the shoulder. "You're a fascinating subject, Master Blue. Don't you ever think otherwise."